Hi, I'm Mayor Greg Fisher. Are you ready to check out some great local live music right here in historic Metro Hall? Let's go!
Bist du mir nun ganz gegeben?
Nun bin ich dir ganz gegeben.
Nun so sei mein liebes Weibchen.
Nun so sei mein Herzenstäubchen.
Mein liebes Weibchen, mein liebes Weibchen. Welche Freude wird das sein?
Welche Freude wird das sein?
Wenn die Götter uns bedenken.
Wenn die Götter uns verdenken.
Unsere liebe Kinder schenken. Unsere liebe Kinder schenken. So liebe kleine Kinderlein. 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 So liebe kleine Kinderlein. So liebe kleine Kinderlein. Erst einen kleinen Papageno.
Dann einen kleinen Papageno.
Dann wieder einen Papageno.
Dann wieder einen Papageno.
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 Papageno. Papageno.
Es ist das höchste der Gefühle.
Es ist das höchste der Gefühle.
Wenn
viele Papageno der Eltern Segen werden sein. Es ist das höchste der Gefühle.
Es ist das höchste der Gefühle.
Wenn viele Papageno der Eltern Segen werden sein. Papageno, Papageno, Papageno der Eltern Segen werden sein. Papageno, Papageno, Papageno der Eltern Segen werden sein. Der Eltern Segen werden sein. Der Eltern Segen werden sein. Papageno, 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 Papageno.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Joseph Mekovich, and I'm the principal conductor of Kentucky Opera. And this season is very special to us because we are celebrating our 65th anniversary of providing opera here in Kentuckiana and in this great city of Louisville. And it's an honor to be here at this series sponsored by our dear mayor. Of course, was from Mozart's The Magic Flute, a lovely duet of Papageno and Papagena who finally find each other. They're two bird people who finally find each other, everyone knows. It's our 65th anniversary, but another important milestone for Kentucky Opera is we welcome our brand new general director, Mr. Ian Dare, who is here today to join me up here on stage and talk about our season coming up and introduce our wonderful artists and the wonderful operas that we'll be showcasing at the Brown. Mr. Ian Dare.
Thank you very much, and I just want to echo what Joe was saying about how lucky we are to be a part of this series. This is the first time that Kentucky Opera has been on the Mayor's Art Series, and so I was just blown away about how beautiful the building is, how beautiful this actual space is. So we're all feeling very lucky. So thank you for the invitation. We're happy to be here. Just to kick off a little bit, we have our opening performance at the end of this month, September 23rd, of Puccini's Madame Butterfly. Follow that that with an opera by the composer you just heard, Mozart, his Singspiel, the Abduction from the Seraglio, and then later in February we will have the Mikado, a very, very fun-filled operetta by Gilbert and Sullivan. So.
Great. So coming next for some entertainment is some excerpts from Mozart's opera, The Abduction from the Seraglio, which takes place in Turkey. So I would like to welcome to the stage a gentleman who will be singing the role of Osmin, Mr. Gustave Andreasen. Where's There he is. Who will tell you a little bit about this opera. I mean, this aria.
Oh, okay. Well, I can tell you, I am a bass. I thought you might know that. I oftentimes the bass is the father, but in this opportunity, I get to play an evil guy. It's a funny opera, so it's not that evil. But he's not wanting their gold. They call it the abduction from the Seraglio, but there never is an abduction because my character, the evil guy, disrupts all that. Okay, he doesn't want their gold. He wants their heads.
Wie will ich triumphieren, wenn sie euch zum Nichts führen, und die Hesse schnieren zu, und die Hesse schnieren zu, und die Hesse schnieren zu, Hüpfen will ich lachen, springen und ein Freudenliedchen singen, denn nun hab ich vor euch Ruhe, denn nun hab ich vor euch Ruhe. Oh, wie will ich triumphieren, wenn sie euch zum Nichts führen, und die Hesse schnieren zu, und die Hesse schnieren zu, Schweigt nur säuberlich und leise, ihr verdammten Haremsmäuse, unser Ohren tägt euch schon, und ihr uns könnten springen, seht ihr euch in unseren Schlingen, und erhaschet euren Mund, und erhaschet euren Mund. Schleicht nur säuberlich und leise, ihr verdammten Haremsmäuse, unser Ohren entdeckt euch schon, entdeckt euch schon, entdeckt euch schon. Oh, wie will ich triumphieren, wenn sie euch zum Nichts führen, und die Hesse schnieren zu, und die Hesse schnieren zu, Hüpfen will ich lachen, springen und ein Freudenliedchen denn nun hab ich Ruhe vor euch, denn nun hab ich Ruhe vor euch. Oh, wie will ich triumphieren, wenn sie euch zum Nichts führen, und die Hesse schnieren zu, 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 schnieren zu.
Now, earlier on in the show, Osmin, he owns a beautiful blonde woman who he calls Blondie or Blundskin, and he's totally enraptured with her. But she's like, I know the Pasha's girlfriend, and she's my close friend, and if I tell her something, he's going to smack your feet, mini lashes on the bottom of your feet. That's what he's going to do, and we're looking for a picture. We good? Fabulous. All right.
Ich gehe, da klarte ich dir, den Schurken will zum Heiden, den Schurken will zum Heiden.
Du guckst, ich will nicht mit mir, befehl nicht mit mir, befehl nicht mit mir. Du weißt ja, ich kann nicht leiden, du weißt ja, ich kann nicht leiden. Ich kann nicht leiden, ich kann nicht leiden.
Versprich mir,
Was willst du
zum
tun?
Henker,
Fort, lass mich
weil alle, ich werde
allein.
nicht gehen, ich werde nicht gehen, ich werde nicht gehen. Ist so zu gehorchen mir schwörst. Bist du zu gehorchen mir schwörst, zu gehorchen mir schwörst.
Nicht so viel, 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 du armer Gesell. Und wenn du der Großmogul wärst, und wenn du der Großmogul wärst, wenn du der Großmogul wärst,
O mein Günther, seid ihr nicht voran, ihr lasst euren Weiben den Willen.
ein Held so in Freiheit geboren, lässt niemals sich sklavisch behandeln, weit wird schon die Freiheit verloren.
Wenn
Doch stolz auf sie,
eine
doch mit der Welt, ein Held so in Freiheit geboren, lässt niemals sich sklavisch behandeln, weit wird schon die Freiheit verloren. Doch stolz auf sie, doch mit der Welt, weit wird schon die Freiheit verloren. Doch stolz auf sie,
eine
doch mit der Welt,
wenn
doch
solch
stolz
eine
auf
Zucht,
sie,
eine
doch
Zucht,
mit der Welt. Nun trau dich,
so sprichst du mit mir,
nun trau dich,
so sprichst du mit mir.
nicht
Nun bleib ich
anders,
erst hier,
nicht anders.
nun bleib ich erst hier, nun bleib ich erst hier, nun bleib ich erst hier.
Einmal jetzt was
Der
okay.
Hans hat gefragt gesehen,
Einmal jetzt was
der
okay.
Hans hat gefragt
Einmal
gesehen,
jetzt was
der
okay.
Hans hat gefragt
Einmal jetzt was
gesehen,
okay.
der Hans hat gesehen.
Es ist um die Augen geschehen, es ist um die Augen geschehen.
Nur ruhig ich wir gern gehen, nur ruhig ich wir gern gehen. Hey, Freund, der Säge, das wird du mit mir, du bleib ich erst hier. Ein Holz hat gefällt gesehen, nur ruhig ich wir gern gehen. Hey, Freund, der Säge,
Es ist um die Augen geschehen.
nur ruhig ich wir gern gehen. Hey, Freund, der Säge,
Es ist um die Augen
nur
geschehen.
ruhig ich wir gern gehen. Hey, Freund, der Säge, heißt, hey, Freund, der Säge, heißt, Gottes Säge, heißt, Gottes Säge, heißt.
Well, welcome everybody to our monthly Mayor's Music and Arts series. So glad that everybody could make it out. I'm Greg Fisher. I have the honor of being your mayor here for the city. So we've heard a lot of eclectic and different music over the last 4.5 years, haven't we? We have a lot of regulars here, and thank you all very much for coming out. And we're so happy to have Kentucky Opera here in the house for us here today. We've been, the city has been kind of waiting to see who our next director of the opera would be. So Ian Dare here, we're so happy to welcome you to our city. You've been here for a week.
Just a week, yeah, exactly. And
Well, how things looking?
I think they're looking good. The weather certainly has improved today.
Yes, it has.
That's wonderful.
But you're obviously off to a full season coming.
Well, we just started rehearsals on Tuesday, and Harold here is here for Madame Butterfly, and we're going to be, for the next 2 weeks, just kind of going at it every single day until we get to September 23rd, our opening night.
And Harold has got a Kentucky story. Tell us a little bit about that.
I do. Well, I've never spent much time here in Louisville myself, so I'm very excited to be here and get to explore the city a little bit because we're here for about a month. But my parents, my father's family is all from LaRue County, south of here. And so throughout my father's life and my family's life, Louisville's been a very important place. I have lots of relatives that have both lived here and still live here. My parents met here and married here. My sisters were all born here. And then they left, and I was born in New York. So they call me, I'm like the Yankee of the family. Yeah. So, but I'm really excited to be here.
We're going to adopt you as a Louisvillian.
Great.
I mean, you've got claimants on that, and you'll be here for the next month, so we appreciate that.
Sounds good.
Ian, welcome to the city. Tell us a little bit about you and your vision for the opera.
Well, thank you. I got here about a week ago, and I came from Dallas. I was in Dallas for 2 years working for the Dallas Opera, and before that, I had been in Chicago for about 8 years. And one of the things that struck me the most about coming here was just sensing all the collaboration that was just born already between all the different institutions, the arts institutions. And for me, that just means that opera is kind of the collaborator in general, because you have to have an orchestra, you have to have principals, you have to have a chorus, and so you're pulling all these things together. And just to be in a community that's already open to that and already embracing that on their own is a special, special thing. So I feel like I'm riding the tide of something that's really, really about to be an epic moment of the arts in Louisville and Kentucky.
No, you're right. You're coming at a great time. We're having a wonderful renaissance in our community with our built environment and our human talent as well, and our arts are really taking off in such a great way. So you come at a great time. So I'd say
I'm lucky.
You're lucky. We're looking forward to you being part of our big team here. So I think we're probably ready to hear Harold, aren't we?
Yeah, I'll let Harold set this up a little
sure.
bit, but this is an excerpt from Madame Butterfly, and it's our first opera that opens on the 23rd, so I think it'll probably lure you all to want to come, so I hope.
All right. Okay. Well, in Madame Butterfly, I play Navy lieutenant, naval officer, and he's entered into sort of a contractual marriage and taken on a 15-year-old Japanese bride. And through a series of unfortunate and selfish decisions that he makes, and the bride, of course, is Madame Butterfly, and he spends some time with her, and then he ends up going back to America and resuming his normal life. And he comes back to Japan to find out that he has a son with her that he didn't know about, and he's now, I think, 3 years old. And he's come to take his son with his new American wife home, and so there are tragic consequences. And once he gets there, he realizes how foolish his decision-making has been, and it results, of course, at the end of the story in tragedy. So this is Addio Fiorito Asile, where he's saying goodbye to the little house that they lived there in Nagasaki, and he's racked with remorse as the scope of his actions have fallen upon him, and the torture that everybody's going through in this moment. So this is from Act 3 of Madame Butterfly.
Addio Fiorito Asile, di Letizia et amor, sempre il mite suo sembiante, con strazio atroce vedrò. Addio Fiorito Asile, non reggo al tuo squallor, non reggo al tuo squallor, fuggo, son vil. Addio,
All right, so that's from Madame Butterfly, which opens up our season on September 23rd and 25th at the Brown Theater up there on Broadway. The third opera that we have this season, which is in February of 2017, is Gilbert and Sullivan's beloved The Mikado, a wonderful farce that is talking about politics and institutions in the British society, but it all takes place in a fictional town in Japan, all through the lenses of sort of Orientalism and Japanese sort of symbology and a hue of colors. It's a wonderful comedy. I think everyone knows this piece and it's very dear to their heart. So let's start out by meeting Mr. Nanki-Poo, who's going to introduce his piece right now, Mr. Ryan Conley.
This will give you a little bit of a sampling of some of the different styles that you can expect in the singing. This is Nanki-Poo's aria, A Wandering Minstrel.
A wandering minstrel I, a thing of shreds and patches, of ballad songs and snatches, and dreamy lullaby. My catalogue is long through every passion ranging, and to your humors changing, I tune my supple song. I tune my supple song. Are you in sentimental mood? I'll sigh with you. Oh, sorrow, on maiden's coldness do you brood? I'll do so too. Oh, sorrow, sorrow, I'll charm your willing ears with songs of lovers' fears, while sympathetic tears my cheeks bedew. Oh, sorrow, sorrow. But if patriotic sentiment is wanted, I've patriotic ballads cut and dry. For where'er our country's banner may be planted, all other local banners are defied. Our warriors in serried ranks assembled never quail, and they conceal it if they do. And I shouldn't be surprised if nations tremble before the mighty troops, the troops of Titipu. And if you call for a song of the sea, we'll heave the hapsin round. With yo heave ho, for the wind is free, the anchors a trip and the helms a lee. Hurrah for the homeward bound. To lay aloft in a howling breeze may tickle a landman's taste, but the happiest hour a sailor sees is when he's down in an inland town with his Nancy on his knees, yo ho, and his arm around her waist. A wandering minstrel I, a thing of shreds and patches, of ballads, songs, and snatches, and dreamy lullaby, and dreamy lullaby.
So in this scene from the Mikado, which takes place quite near the end of the piece, we have Coco the Lord High Executioner and Katisha, an elderly, perhaps matronly woman. Elderly? How
In front of
dare
all
I?
these people,
How
Carl.
could I?
That's so rude.
Katisha has been in love with Nanki-Poo for the piece, and that's a bit problematic. And Coco, actually, just before this scene, has declared his love for Katisha. And over the course of this duet, they find that they have many sort of interesting interests in common. You'll see what those are.
There is beauty in the bellow of the blast. There is grandeur in the growling of the gale. There is eloquent outpouring when the lion is roaring and the tiger is a lashing of his tail.
Yes, I'd like to see a tiger from the Congo or the Niger, and especially when lashing of its tail.
Volcanoes have a splendor that is grim, and earthquakes only terrify the dogs. But to him who's scientific, there is nothing that's terrific in the falling of a flight of thunderbolts.
Yes, in spite of all my meekness, if I have a little weakness, it's a passion for a flight of thunderbolts. If that is so, sing daddy-dum, daddy, it's evident very our tastes are one. Away we'll go, and merrily, merry, nor toddily, tally till day is done. Oh!
Now you.
Oh, right. Oh, yes, is it good?
It's very
Thank you.
your turn.
There is beauty in extreme old age. Do you fancy you are elderly enough?
What?
Information I'm requesting on a subject interesting. Is a maiden all the better when she's tough?
Throughout this wide dominion, it's the general opinion that she'll last a good deal longer when she's tough.
Are you old enough to marry, do you think? Won't you wait until you're 80 in the shade? There's a fascination frantic and a ruin that's romantic. Do you think you are sufficiently decayed?
To the matter that you mention, I have given some attention, and I think I am sufficiently decayed.
If that is so, sing daddy-dum, daddy, it's evident very our tastes are one. Away we'll go, and merrily, merry, nor toddily, tally till day is done. If that is so, sing daddy-dum, daddy, it's evident very our tastes are one. Away we'll go, and merrily, merry, nor toddily, tally till day is done. Sing daddy-dum, daddy, we'll merrily, merry, nor toddily, tally till day is done.
Let's thank Kentucky Opera for coming out here and sharing a little sampling of the coming season with us. Please, don't you guys stand up over here. Let us give you a round of applause.
And for those of you in the audience, I think you probably noticed that we did things in different languages. So we had a little bit of German, we had a little bit of Italian and English. And when you come to the opera, you'll notice that we have super titles above the stage, so you can follow along regardless of what language they're singing in. So I hope you come to the opera. We start with Madame Butterfly at the end of this month, and please come back for all that you can.
All right, everybody, thanks for coming out. Next show, October the 6th. Have a safe day.
I hope you enjoyed our great local live music, and I look forward to seeing you next time.